Well, hello, and welcome back to another scary edition of Ghost Stories Told from the South. I am your host, Stephen LeBooth, and we got some skelly stuff for you today. Halloween's around the corner, baby. It's Monday. So that means it's to be Halloween festivities be going on everywhere. Kind of sucks, man. Halloween's fixing to be over, essays. It's bullshit. I love Halloween. No, I love this time of year, the spookiness, the chill weather. But that's okay. I got some good old stories today. I got some good stuff. But I just want to say thank you. My numbers the numbers are growing. I say our numbers because we're all on this together. I've got a pretty good fan base. Who's pretty good about listening every Wednesday when these come out. And I want to say thank you. I can't think of all the countries right offhand, but we're being heard in like, God, I want to say 15, 16. I don't know. I'm probably off. But anyways, there's a lot of countries that's we're being heard and they're downloading regularly. I want to say thank you to you guys. You're awesome. Keep listening. I hope you guys love the show. So I love it. I think it's awesome. But I guess I'll quit rambling. That's about it for anything updates or anything. I'm healthy as a horse, so I ain't going nowhere. And that's it. Just want to say thanks, man. My numbers are growing. Uh, like I said, I want to hit maybe try to hit like 500 followers. What do y'all say, guys? Tell your friends about it. I mean, the numbers are good. I am getting more and more followers every day. Just want to say thank you for listening wherever you are, ma'am. But all right, let's get it down and dirty with our first scary story. So set the back. Set the back. Relax. Strap in. Cover yourself with a nice warm blanket by the fire. Grab some coffee or cocoa or rum. And listen to these scary stories I have for you today. All right, our first story is coming to us from right down the road from me off of I-20. Right, it's west of us. About, I don't know, 50 miles from here, I think. Maybe longer. No, it's probably longer than 50, but it don't take long to get there. It's maybe a 30-minute drive. But anyways, it's right down the road from me. And it's called the the Thurber Ghost Town. All right, let's get ready to get scarified. True story of the rise and fall of Thurber, Texas. A mining ghost town with a creepy rural ghost. All right. I'm gonna turn my light on. Sorry, I'm doing a podcast today, and it's kind of dark. I had to turn my light on so I could see better. I try to keep it dark and creepy, but I just can't do it, man. Okay, science has made phenomenal discoveries within the last 100 years, but even still, some things just cannot be explained. Excuse me. I didn't mean to do that in the microphone, guys. Sorry. One such ghostly tale must be among those unexplained events. Man, I'm sorry. Let me get my bifocals. I got my regular glasses on, but if I don't see my bifocals when I got to read this stuff, it don't come out too good. All right. There we go. Okay. Muy bueno. That's good. I like that. Oh, yeah. So much better. Okay. Science has made phenomenal discoveries within the last 100 years, but even still, some things cannot be explained. One such ghostly tale must be among those unexplained events as it occurred many years ago in a soon to be real ghost town a rural Texas ghost town, a place forgotten by the world of high-tech devices, modern uh, technologies, or modern conveniences, and the worries of day-to-day rat race. The place was a small community called Thurber, Texas, located in the far ends of the Palapena County Hills. That's the county I live in, just on the Palapena and Erath County lines. Today, the only thing that remains of the old mining town is a very impressive smokestack, towering next to a row of aged brick buildings in which house the Smokestack Restaurant on Interstate 20, about 75 miles west of Fort Worth. And I will recommend that restaurant there. I've eaten there a couple times. It's pretty damn good. I like going out there and eating when I get out that way. So check it out. It's called the Smokes. What was it called? The Smokestack in Thurber, Texas. Go check it out. Today, the only thing that okay. Okay. During the late 1800s, Thurber was a thriving coal mining town with a population of approximately 8,000 souls. Especially in Texas, Thurber was constructed and owned completely by the Texas and the Pacific Coal Company, which was headed up by Robert Dickey Hunter and H.K. Thurber of New York. Okay, so that's how they got the name. I've always wondered that. Hunter constructed the town while he was dealing with the distant Union miners associated with the Knights of Labor, who had been working in the mines there since the mid 1880s. He fenced off the property owned by the company, constructing an entire town and mining complex with schools, churches, saloons, stores, houses, and a 650-seat opera house, a 200-room hotel, and an ice house and an electric plant. The Union was not allowed inside. They don't like the Union. Eventually, the miners' strike ended, and the families moved into the company-owned town. Along with the mines, the companies owned and okay, let me go back with that. Along with the mines, the company owned the stores that were the town's where the townspeople would purchase stuff, purchase their necessities with the use of stripes, which are redeemable anywhere in Thurber. In 1897, a large brick plant was built as well. Hunter also partners in its enterprise, employed many other types of labor, a stockade armed guards and barbed wire fence, restricted labor unions, peddlers and their unauthorized people from gaining access into the town. What were they hiding? Huh? Where was I at? Hunter retired in 1899, and then a man named William Knox Gordon took over, retaining the company. Let me go back with that. William Knox Gordon took over, retaining company. He took over the company in the community. He constricted efforts by Gordon to keep the Union out of Thurber. Okay, that was his job when he came in, to take over and keep the Union out of there. Okay. Texas Texas failed by 1913, and Thurber began a Union stronghold for the immigrant workers and remained so until about 1920. By the time the locomotive was the primary source of transportation, and then began to burn oil instead of coal. Gordon, uh, being in an being an opportunist, discovered the huge range oil field, which or the huge range oil field just west of Thurber Mines, and changed the company name to Texas Pacific Coal and Oil Company in 1918. The conservation of the Union from the coal to the oil, along with the consistent Union strikes, led to Thurber's demise. The need for workers began to dwindle, and many miners moved away. By 1927, the brick plant remained open until 1930. A general officer until 1933, the commissary stores until 1935. By 1939, the company basically dismantled most of the town and constructed turned their interest to their interest towards the oil fields. Once the thriving Thur once the once thriving Thurber became a ghost town overnight. That's what they say. That's what they say. It was in the declining years that a weird thing occurred. On a summer night in 1930, 11-year-old Walter Costola and his older brother Frank had an encounter that would stay with them for the rest of their lives. Walter was 82 years old when he shared the tale from the safety of his store within the quiet village of Strawn. And Strawn's just another town. I don't know why they say village, but it's another town right down the road from me. Okay. Where was I at? See, I set up to say that, and then I lost my GD in place. Come on. Okay, Walker. Okay. Oh, come on. I found it. I had to stop. That's why I don't like sitting or doing this and then stopping because, yeah, I miss stuff sometimes. Anyways, Thurber's right down the railroad tracks Strawn's right down the railroad tracks from Thurber, Walter said. Now, this is when he was living in Thurber. I remember that night well. I always have, I always will. A boy never forgets the child forgets the odd things of life, and the one that was seriously odd for him. It was the beginning of the Great Depression, which hit Texas harder than most of the other states. Many grown and able-bodied men were out of work and taking any job they could find. So it was rare that two boys would find work. But they did. Walter and Frank would walk down to a local Mexican restaurant on Saturday nights on one of the few establishments still left in Thurber, Texas. After closing hours to assist the owner with rolling tamales. On one particular night, Walter said, it was very clear with a beautiful full moon hanging low upon the summer horizon. The two boys finished their work at the restaurant and it was around midnight, and After collecting 50 cents each, wow, that's a day's wage back then, man. They headed home down an old dirt road that went parallel with the side of railroad tracks. That coal cars to the town of that took coal that the coal cars took coal to the town of Mingus, a few miles north of Thurber. That was a tongue tire. I ain't gonna lie. Let's see. Okay, Costella said we came. I'm sorry if I'm butchering that name up, but sorry. We came to the place where we left the road to cross over a fence in order to get to the house. And okay, in those days, many fences had stills, but upon stills built upon them, steps in which one could easily climb up and over and back down without having to climb the fence. We were appreciating the stills when the ghostly thing appeared. Here came this beautiful silver looking thing. He he went on to say, my brother looked at it, screamed, and ran as fast as his feet would carry him towards the house. Unfortunately, he went the long way. I followed, but was bigger and faster than me, and leaving me further and further behind. Once my brother cleared a considerable distance, the ghost he slowed, then finally stopped until I caught up to him. Both of us were out of breath and scared out of our wits. One then could we figure, oh God, only then could we gather enough courage to look at it, but it was already gone. The boys going the long way home to avoid the face-to-face with a specter immediately went to their father and told him of the frightful event. Walter asked his papa if someone was pulling some kind of prank on them. His father replied, "No, it was not a prank." He then explained to the boys that what they saw was something rare indeed. Something that very few people in the Thurber area have ever encountered. He told them the story of an incident that took place in Thurber years before, when it was a booming community. A carnival had made a stop in the village, and there was a beautiful woman with carnival who would sing with a voice even more beautiful than it was just one of the most beautiful voices around, they said. She was tragically killed by a local resident who had become obsessed with her. The woman said, the woman, he said, avenges her murder by returning to the haunt of the streets of Thurber. Ooh. After that night, Walter said his brother refused to speak of the incident and did not want anyone to know of their encounter with the ghost. Walter went on to say, if people say that I did not see a ghost, you'll tell them to come and see me. I saw it with my own two eyes, and I know what I saw. Rumors of hauntings floated in and around Thurber, Texas, for a few years. However, Walter only personally knew of only one person who claimed to have witnessed the ghost. The man, friend of Walter's father, told Walter and his family of the night he was walking towards his mother's house, just about the same spot where Walter and Frank saw the ghost. He claimed on a moonlit night he came upon the ghost of a woman sitting in the stilts of the fence. He said he was somewhat under influence of a strong drink when he approached the woman, thinking it was his mother. Suddenly, he said, she began to rise up into the air before fading away in front of my eyes. When he then said he'd never sober up so quickly. He never sobered up so quickly in his life before. Since then, the road no longer exists. Pastures was reclaimed, and the fence has been gone for many years as has many who may have encountered the specter. Walter unfortunately passed away from the world in 2006, taking any information of the ghost with him. The ghost town of Thurber was once a thriving place, teeming with immigrants, workers, and mostly Italian, Hungarians, and Mexicans trying. That sounds so racist. Them trying to make a living themselves and their families. The Great Flu pandemic of 1919 took the lives of at least 20 children and several adults in the town. What sickness and what difficulties plagued the immigrant town as well. A ghost of Thurber could be just about anybody. Ooh. So if you're ever around, go check out Thurber, Texas. That kind of sucks, though. It's already old. I mean, it's way past after that story now, and that road ain't even there. Because, man, I think this weekend's going to be a full moon around Halloween. So it'd be good nice to go check some of these stories out. Because a lot of them, start out with, man, it was a nice, cool, moonlit night, and yada, yada, yada. Yeah, that one was pretty good. But yeah, I've been through that town, but I've never stopped. I didn't know there was that much ghost activity and stuff in there. So, but let's take a quick break, and we'll come back with our last little section of the episode. You ever look up at the sky at night and look at the stars and wonder, are we the only ones really out here?
Have you ever wondered how much our government hides from us?
Have you ever wondered why so many mysteries go unsolved? What really happens? What's the clues? What's the evidence?
Ever wonder if Bigfoot or Mothman is real?
Then, if so, come listen to this podcast called
What's Really Out There? And I am your host, Stephanie Booth.
And I am your
father.
co-host, Stephen Booth, Hafaja. And if you're into UFOs, unsolved murders, mysteries, unexplained stuff that happened, urban legends, we're into all of that. Conspiracy stuff too. We go dive into that. So if you're looking for a new podcast that tells that kind of stuff, then you need to listen to What's Really Out There. And we are on Spotify and iHeart and Pandora, I think. But we are pretty much on every platform. We have a YouTube channel so go check that out. It's called What's Really Out There. So come check us out. Once again, I'm your co-host, Stephen Booth.
And I'm your host, Stephanie Booth. And this is
What's Really Out There. We'll see you at the next episode, guys. All right, I hope you enjoyed that. Now, my next stories are I don't know if they're legends or urban legends or real stories or fiction or what, but these are some Some little stories you can tell around the old campfire. Some little bits, little tidbits. So let's get ready to scare you. Our first story is called The Architect's Key. There was once a man named Edward who designed and built his own perfect house. He lived in it for many years until he eventually passed away. A new family soon moved in, but however, they went into the basement where Edward's personal study had been. They would get the feeling that someone was watching them. One day, the father of the new family decided to fix up an old jacket. Fix up an old jacket, which every tailor in town had told him it was beyond repair. So he went down to the old study, laid his jacket on the chair, and then tried to see if there was anything in the old desk that he could help him wouldn't help to help mend it. Another is to use needle and thread to sew it by hand. But the drawer was locked, and he could not find a key anywhere. The next morning, he came back down to find the key on the desk, all of the drawers open, and his jacket completely flies across the room. So, I gotta do something. I'll be right back. All right, I hope y'all liked that first story. That was pretty creepy. I don't know. I need to go back and look. I think I've covered these before. Or, I don't know. I know I did some short stories last week, so I'm not for sure. If I did these last week and I'm doing them again, I'm so damn sorry. But I had a little Halloween party this weekend, and little old Steven drank too much of the vampire's blood, and I was like hungover Saturday, and I didn't get a whole lot done Sunday. So yeah, it's my bad, and I'm rushing to get this out for tomorrow. So once again, let's get back to the stories. Now we have one called A Mother's Love. Some people actively go out for their Some people actively go out looking for ghost encounters, and every once in a while they find one. When Kevin was a teenager, he and his friends had heard about the dangerous turn on the nearby highway that caused many accidents over the years. It was a new haunting. The most well-known story was of a mother who took her own life after her son had crashed his car and died there. It was said around town that her ghost remained at the deadly turn to protect people from ending up like her deceased child. Kevin and his friends decided to put the theory to the test. So at night, Kevin drove his friends out to the highway. When the group... Where am I at? Okay. Dang it. Sorry. Wrong way. There we go. I can adjust better and see. Where was I at? Okay. At night, Kevin drove his friends out to the highway. When the group of boys arrived to the turn, they pulled over. They brought a bag of flour with them and proceeded to sprinkle the white powder on the road. The white powder. They're pouring a lot of money out. Okay. Powder on the road. The grass in the car. The idea was to get footprints to prove that the ghost was indeed real. The boys hopped back to begin to take the car around the turn. Kevin accelerated faster and faster, and thump. The car came to an abrupt stop, as if someone had slammed down on it with their own two hands. They immediately got out of the car and saw two woman-sized footprints in the white flour on the in on the hood. So they found footprints on the ground and then handprints on the car hood. Yeah, that's fucking crazy. All right, this one's called The Ghost in the Hall. 4 young women moved into an old New England apartment together. A month after they moved in, one of the roommates realized that her favorite stuffed teddy bear was missing. The others all said they had touched it, or the others all said that they had not touched it or seen it. Weeks went by and she almost forgot about the teddy when something strange happened. She opened the door to one of the closets they hardly ever used, and there on the top shelf her furry friend was sitting. All of her roommates swore they had no idea how it happened. Now, whenever the teddy bear goes missing for a few days, she knows exactly where to find it. Yeah, they say it keeps repeating it. I don't know, guys. I just report the story. This one's called A Voice in the Desert. Two young women in their 20s, or two young men in their 20s. Josh and Dan went on a camping trip together in a desert in Mexico. They did not take much with them besides sleeping bags, food, and materials for a fire. After they After they cooked their dinner, they fell asleep. They gazed up into the starry night sky. The beauty and the peace of the trip were short lived, however. In the early dark hours of the morning, Josh startled awake by what sounded like Dan's voice being or Dan's voice off in the distance. The voice said, "Come here, quick, look." Sleepy and confused, Josh got up to see what his friend was talking about. He heard it again. "Come on, quick, come here, look." It sounded unnatural, a perfect imitation or wrong thing. It sounded unnatural, a perfect repetition, imperfect repetition. Josh took a few steps forward and then someone grabbed him from behind. He turned around to see Dan with his finger in front of his mouth, warning Josh to keep quiet. They pulled up the sleeping bags and left. They still do not know how or what was trying to lure Josh away in the desert. Freaked out by the spooky story, these hilarious. If you're. Never mind. It was saying if you're spooked out by that scary story, go to this place. Anyways, that was a good story. But, that's a little like a lot of the skin catcher stories. That's skin catchers. Skinwalkers, a lot of them are like, you hear that too, or they can pitch their voice and change it. Crazy. All right, here's another one. Echoes of the Past. A young bachelor at the beginning of his career became very successful very quick. So he bought himself a house. One morning he woke up to the sound of running water. He rushed into the bathroom and saw the bathtub faucet was running on full blast. He was confused by this. As he lived alone, a week later it happened again. Only this time it wasn't just a faucet. It was all the faucets in the house. Now that's crazy. The young man called a repairman to fix the pipes and the water damage, but as it turned out, the pipes weren't broken. The repairman, a local, seemed visible shaken by it. "What's wrong?" the bachelor said. "The woman who lived here before," said the repairman. "She drowned. The woman that lived here before, he drowned in the bathtub." It could be her. All right, this one is called "No One Steals Twice." Gene went to the same convenience store every day after school for a snack. One time she became good friends with the cashier. Oh, within time, she became friends with the cashier, Lucy. Out of courtesy, one day Jane asked Lucy how she asked Lucy how she would stop someone if they tried to steal from the store. Lucy replied, "Oh no, one never steals anything from here twice. The store will not let them." Jean was like, "Huh?" You didn't know what that meant, but she dropped the subject. When she went back to the store at the start of the next school year or school week, Jean walked in to find Lucy talking to some cops. Apparently, a man stole from the store and drove off, but his brakes mysteriously failed, and his car went soaring off a cliff. The cops asked Lucy if she knew what happened. No, I didn't. I don't know. She said she was shocked, or she said I was stalked and I was stalking the back room and did not even know that he'd came in. No one ever steals twice. If you are looking for, never mind. No one steals twice from this store because apparently you steal once, it comes back to get you. So nobody steals. So that's a good lesson. Don't be a bunch of thieves and stealing stuff. This one is called When the Candle Burns. 3 little girls were having a sleepover one night when they decided to try to host a seance. One of the girls, Carla, recently lost her grandpa and wanted to see if she could communicate with his spirit. The 3 girls gathered some candles and a few items that belonged to the late grandfather. His watch, his cigar case, and a photo of him. The girls held hands and started the seance. Suddenly, the candles begin to flicker, and the hands on the watch begin to spin. Carla was sure it was her grandpa. She began to talk to him and ask questions when all of a sudden the candles flew as if some invisible force and had almost hit her in the head with the stuff. Grandpa would not have done that, she said. Shaking, she was right. So, that's another reason right there, kids. Don't play with them fucking Ouija boards. They'll come back to get you. Well, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. Sorry it was a little short. I could probably read a little more, but man, past 2 days have been busy as hell. But you guys have a great, great Halloween. And hey, man, sorry if I screw up sometimes reading and I sound like I said, stuttering stain trying to read over here going. So, just want to say thanks for that, guys. But thank you guys for listening. And I hope the show was great for you. Happy Halloween. You guys be safe. Be real. We will see you later. And guess what? If you've been listening to this, you've been listening to Ghost Stories Told from the South. I am your host, Stephen LeBooth. This has been a booth podcasting production. See you later, guys. Bye.